views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
Hi, welcome. This is Dr. John DeMartini. This is one of the most amazing and inspiring shows that you can listen into. If you want to be on the edge of your seats, if you want to open up your heart, if you want to expand your mind, and you want to meet incredible people, stay tuned because you're just about to experience a transformative radio show that will change your life. And you're listening to the Dr. Pat Show that's coming up right next.
The following audio is via a Skype call.
Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. Talk radio to thrive by. Powerful, inspiring, and coming to you live, bringing you stories of people like you and me, busting through and living life full out. Get ready to dare to wonder what your life would be like if you knew you could not fail. Wow, everybody. Wow. Super, 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 super welcome. Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. Welcome to Transformation Talk Radio. But mostly, let's welcome everybody to Angels and Light Beings. And this is with my friend and colleague, Francine Vale. And before we jump into it, we're going to be talking about today angel healing and unconditional love. Now, I will say that, before I just kind of get cranked up here with Francine and I tell you a lot about who she is, I got to say, Benny, I know, don't you Minnesota people turn the channel off right now. Hang in there for a minute. Hang in there. It was good. I got to say that if you ask my friend Francine, did we think there were a few angels and light beings yesterday afternoon at the game, what do you think Francine would say?
Well, I know what I'm going to say.
It ain't about the laces, folks.
I don't know. Could have been.
I'm just saying, I thought I saw a little orb circling around out there when, I just saw it, a little light, a little something going on over there. It was just shocking. Francine Vale joining me here today. We're going to hear from her about this. What is unconditional love? And I'm telling you, yes, that was the vibe. That was the vibe you could hear through the Pacific Northwest yesterday. Angels and Light Beings Radio with Francine Vale. Now, for those of you out there, she is the author of Song of the Heart. But beyond all of that, what does walking the path of light mean? What is it that we get to say yes to in our lives? And what the heck happens when we go into fear and anxiety and go to that place of anything or everything but unconditional love? Today, Benny and I and so many of you, we get to have a different meaning for what it means to have a divine intervention. We really do. There's a level of appreciation that I think you could hear if you are us hanging out here in the Pacific Northwest. Not so much if you're in Minnesota or, some of those other places. But whatever it is, you've got to have this idea of love regardless of the outcome. Today's show is all about that. Francine's got some amazing things to share with all of you today. And we are opening up the phone lines for those of you out there that want to call into the show to experience this healing energy that Francine is bringing to the forefront. Francine, welcome to the show. I don't know if you know what Benny and I were talking about or if you even pay attention to football, but there was a miracle. Did you watch the game? The Seahawks game?
No, I don't watch the game.
I didn't think you did. But there was a miracle. And, here's the thing that, part of this today we get to experience. And I want to ask you about this. When we're talking about angels and light beings, and welcome to the show and Happy New Year to you. Welcome
to you. The show. I'm delighted to be here, Dr. Pat. Absolutely delighted as always. Thank you.
It's so very, very, very cool. I think that when we step out and we think about us having to do everything, right? we're out in the world, we have a dream, we have a vision, we work really hard at it. And, sometimes we can really get caught up in how much we actually think we control and how much we actually do. So today's show, right, is about unconditional loves, but it's about angels and light beings. Have you ever been asked the question, Francine, what's the difference between angels and light beings?
I do get asked that question occasionally, and there is a difference. The lines are blurry, but angels are, generally speaking, beings who were created to bring in unconditional love wherever it is needed in the universe. And we're concerned with planet Earth here. So there are legions of angels who are here to help humanity through the centuries and through the millennia. They are here. Now, there are different kinds of angels, and many of us are acquainted with the archangels. The archangels describe the energy, the different kinds of energies that angels bring in. And there are many, many angelic beings who operate within each archangel's arena, and they bring the same exact energy. We also have guardian angels. Now, I'll tell you something. I don't know if anyone ever heard of this before, but I have come to learn that our guardian angels are us from the future. So everyone has a guardian angel. You come in with a guardian angel, and that guardian angel is you, and it's here with you to help guide you to stay on your path and fulfill your destiny, whatever that destiny is. If you have certain karmic retributions or karmic relationships, whatever it is, your guardian angel is here to help you. I had a personal experience that showed me that about, 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago. I was suddenly in an angelic form, and I felt myself to be tall and wearing a white kind of gown like we see angels in, with long flowing blonde hair. And as I'm standing there, an old-fashioned car pulls up, and my 4-year-old self opens the door and comes out of the car. And so I was my 4-year-old self looking at her guardian angel while I was the guardian angel looking at my 4-year-old self. And she started speaking to me. And I did speak to my guardian angel when I was young. And she said to me, nobody loves me. She just picked up the conversation like you do with a very close loved one. And I said to her, but I love you. And so the conversation continued, and I gave her loving support and reminded her that I would always be with her. And that episode closed with me realizing that I was the guardian angel of my child's self. And there's a higher part of us that, whatever age we are, that higher part of us is still watching over us. And this is in addition to other angelic beings that we can call on. So it is quite miraculous, beautiful, and beyond anything we've been taught by anybody in school. Even our religious leaders don't generally talk about it, even though it's in the Bible. And so those are angels. Now there are light beings. Now, I've had experiences where light beings have manifested in my room. Now, light beings, as far as I can understand, have a life of their own. And that life is a very highly evolved life where they live on other planets and other star systems. And they are so evolved that they no longer need a physical body. They are just pure light. And they come for different reasons. So when we're struggling to accomplish something that we must accomplish, a light being can show up by our side, and we feel the presence, and they help us if we're writing, if we are highly evolved in our musical ability. They'll be there coaching us and helping us. People who are studying in the health arena will have light beings show up and give them breakthroughs to help them become that doctor, healthcare giver, whoever they are learning to be better, as that they think they can be. And so light beings serve that other purpose. And it's really quite remarkable. There are also angels who are here on earth, but chosen to be quite courageous and manifest, or not manifest, get born as a human being. And they are angels on earth. And that's very dangerous to angels because they're so highly sensitive that it's very hard for them to deal with the issues that human beings deal with on earth, such as survival. You know, people who are here as angelic beings have a hard time with survival. They're very sensitive, and they give a lot. So this is a world that we don't generally see, but there have been thousands of reports of people who have seen them around the world. And it's beautiful to know this, to be aware of it, and to live with this awareness.
You know, Francine, I have a question for you, if you don't mind, about this idea that we are given a ration of good that we can ask for. Have you ever heard this where folks, I know I've been in this place myself, where we're afraid to ask our angels, we're afraid to ask light beings for help, we're afraid to ask. And sometimes we actually get to the point where we feel, well, wait a minute, I'm always asking for help. I'm always asking for help. I shouldn't be asking for more help. But tell me, that's a misconception, or what's your experience? Do people generally believe that?
Yes, it is a misconception. Because think about it. When you're in school, when you're little, you learn very quickly that if you raise your hand and ask a question, now it's time to let other fellow students, other kids in the class raise their hand. And you want to be polite and not take over. So we learn to be polite and not ask too much. But actually, when it comes to our angels, they are just waiting for us to ask. And I can give you a very recent example. You can never ask too much. Believe me. There are times that I used to think I'm asking too much, and they always tell me, no, keep asking. We need you to ask. They cannot ask without us asking unless it's a dire circumstance where we are being rescued. And then it's probably our higher self that's asking. But last night, as an example, I had some kind of weird pain that I never had before in my stomach, my upper stomach, and I thought maybe it was indigestion I'm not used to having. And I was really unable to fall asleep. I'm putting my hands there, trying to do healing on myself, and it's not getting any better. And finally I said to myself, call on your angels and ask them. And so I did. It was like 3:30 in the morning already. I was still awake. And I had some tea that I sipped very slowly. Nothing could help me. So I called on my angels. And within a minute, it started fading away. And with my hands on my stomach, I felt the relief coming in, and I fell asleep. And so I woke up in the morning, and I said, all I had to do is ask from the beginning. Why did I lay there suffering with pain for 2 hours?
Right.
You know, so we do forget. But that's the big teaching that I try to bring out, is that ask any time, all day long. When we're in stress or in trouble, our angels know. And they're just standing by waiting for us to ask, because they want us to be aware that they are here and responding to us. It's a relationship. You would create a relationship between yourself and your angels. And your light beings. Yeah.
Yeah. Here's what I want to ask you about. And I know that this is really kind of on the hearts and minds of many people listening. You know, there's this idea that we have a vision or we have a dream, Francine, and we're not quite sure. So, you know, let's talk, you know, reality here for the moment and how some things evolve. I don't know what it is, but we've been looking at this here in terms of our own, transformationradio.fm. And we went through a period of time, I'd say about a year ago, where we started to have this idea, Francine, that, maybe we're trying to big something. Are you ready? Too big. And we lost sight of the fact that maybe we think we live in a limited arena. But our theme this year is accelerated expansiveness. That's our theme, right? And at the same time, a year ago, we questioned whether or not this was what the world needed. So much so that things started to shut down. Programmers started to disappear. So here's my question for you, Francine. Here we are. How can you help us today in the spirit of unconditional love, right? How can you help our listeners, all of us today, go for our dreams with gusto? Where does the unconditional love begin? Is it also in the realm of accelerated expansiveness? What are your thoughts?
Well, it's a multi-layered question, and with multi-layered answers. So I would say this. We are, if we see ourselves like a tree, so we know that each tree is part of its own kind, where there are many others. If you're an oak tree, there are many other oak trees. But you are born an oak tree. That's the seed that you came from, and you cannot become a birch. But you have many branches. And while you are an oak tree, you can try out expansion of your branches and your leaves and your twigs. And so if you see your life that way, you can do whatever you have the innate capability of doing. And you can try other things. You can go out on other branches, and you may not be an expert. I could learn piano, and I could learn how to play decently if I practice enough. But it's not in my destiny to be a famous pianist or to compose music like Mozart. That's not part of my seed. So I cannot do that. But I can make the effort to learn. However, if my tree is about healing and helping others and teaching others so that they can heal themselves, and that's what I was planted here on earth to do, then there is no such thing as being limited. I can grow as tall and cast my branches as wide as they could possibly go. And so if I ask for help, this is where it gets a little complicated. I will receive all the help that I need to fulfill my destiny. But I must not limit myself because I don't know how great that destiny is. I only know that this is what I was born to do. So I let the angels guide me and the light beings guide me. If I limit myself, then they will think that that's all I'm here. I decided not to do more than that. So we must not limit ourselves when we know that this is what we were born to do. And it's a feeling that we have inside us when we know what we excel at, what comes easy to us, that we don't have to work hard at. We just do it naturally. And that's what we came here to do. Some people are here able to do many things. Yeah. They're multi-talented, and they can do many things. Yeah. And so when we ask, the way I ask is, for instance, I can give you a good example. It's a little
let's do it. Let's do it.
But I'll share
Let's do it.
I'm a single woman, and you get a lot of advice about how to meet somebody. And I said, God, you know me better than I know myself. And when I speak to God, I'm speaking to the angels and light beings. And I said, you see my light, you know what I'm about, you know everything about me. If you want me to meet somebody, I'm not the type of person that's going to go running around looking. Put him in front of me. If you put him in front of me, put the right person in front of me, I'll know it when I see him. And so that's the way I receive my response, because I allowed myself to be unlimited and put myself in the hands of these enlightened beings who know. And then we also have to work with astrology. And when we work with astrology, we're working with the energies of the time. So we all know about Mercury retrograde. Yeah. And Mercury retrograde, you do everything that begins with RE. Anything you're reviewing, redoing, revisiting, that's what you do in Mercury retrograde. If you try to make forward progress in a Mercury retrograde, you might be very disappointed. But you can plant your seeds, and you can think about it, and you can do all your research, because research begins with RE. So anything that begins with RE, you do in a Mercury retrograde, and that's what that time is for. And so we know about that. That's pretty much, a lot of people know that. It has to do with communications and so on. But when you encounter other energies, you need to flow with those energies as well. And we don't always know what those energies are unless we find ourselves a good astrologer and we can get our transits, and which I like to do every year. So I understand which times are good for important meetings, which times are good for beauty treatments, which if you try to do a beauty treatment when Venus is retrograde, chances are you're not going to be happy. And so it's good to know about that. In our world, it's been it's been made to be something that people could ridicule, but it's actually an ancient science. And the truth is that in the times of Hippocrates, a physician could not get his full degree until he mastered astrology, because there are times when you operate on certain parts of the body when it's more effective, and there are other times when you don't, and you will not have a good outcome. Today, of course, in our modern times, they need to have the operating room, and the hospital is very full, and most of all, it's not paid attention to. So there's just like it says, there's a time for everything under the sun. And we need to educate ourselves about that. So it's a little complicated, but on the other hand, I have observed people who do not know anything about astrology and don't want to know anything about it, and yet they have an innate way of knowing when to act. So this is the way it is. I cannot give you a definitive answer. It's really...
Well, the thing I want to ask you about, though, is this, and here's what I heard from what you said. Nowhere did I hear you say not to dream your biggest dream. I didn't hear that. I heard a couple things, which is really kind of important in our conversation today, especially about angels and light beings, because, part of this, Francine, for those of you just tuning in, Francine Vale is in the house. And yes, we are opening up phone lines for on-air live healings with Francine. And we've got some very cool things to talk with you about. But angels and light beings, if you want to connect, if you want to get some healing done today, 1-800-930-2819, 1-800-930-2819. Francine, for years, I will say this to you, for years, I looked at Mercury in retrograde very differently. I looked at it as it's time to shut things down. It's time, you know what I mean? I don't know how else to say it, but the energy that I thought, or what I thought about it. And then I start to do radio. You ready? Radio is ruled by Mercury. Yes. And and I was told, hello, it was never intended, Pat, for radio to shut down. That's not Mercury in retrograde. You might want to review your show notes before you do a show, or you might want to reach out to people. I mean, all of the R's, I've never heard that talk like that about the R's. And I thought, wait a minute, this doesn't mean we shut down our lives or our dreams, does it?
No, it doesn't. And when it comes to a dream, we should dream as large as we can within the realm of reality.
Mm-hmm.
So that when you hear young people talk sometimes about how they're going to become famous because they're going to go on a reality show, that's not reality. The chances of that are, or I don't have to work because I'm playing the lottery every day. That's just not reality. We have to take steps in our own behalf and discover who we are, what our purpose is. That's part of our life journey. And so we need to stay within the realm of 3D reality as well. So, a lot of times people who don't pay attention to any of this but are very successful are connected to their angels in their higher self, because we cannot discount our past lives. Our past lives play into this also. We all have accomplishments that we're continuing in this life from a past life, many past lives. And so that's all part of something that happens like magic, because we're continuing our life dream from our past lives. And so it's all quite magical and mysterious and wonderful. And as much as we can stay connected to our angels and aware of them, they will help us.
Yeah, this is really the deal that we're talking about today. And for those of you out there that want some healing help, and what I mean by that is, for a long time, Francine, okay, now you're going to get me to rant a little bit. I don't want to rant a little bit, but I'm going to say it. For a really long time, saying the word help got a bad reputation. And maybe, yes, maybe there are other words, but, sometimes, dang it, we just need help. Yesterday, I'm sorry, during that game, we just needed help. You know what I'm saying? A lot of love and a lot of help. We're going to take a short break. If you're out there and you're not afraid to say, you know what, I need a little help here, Francine and I are right here for you. We're excited about this year. We got some healing on the horizon, everybody. 1-800-930-2819. Take a short break, everybody. We will be right back. Mr. Benny is going to be busy. We already got an instant message for you. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
The preceding audio was via a Skype call.
Calling all dreamers. Are you living your dream life? Actualize your possibilities with Life Coaching Radio and your host, Deb Stetzer. If you're feeling stuck in a rut, Deb is here to help you turn your dreams into a reality. Life Coaching Radio. Dream it, live it, be it. To learn more about Deb, visit www.mylifecoach.us.
Get into it for 2016. Do you want more prosperity, clarity, energy, and balance in your life? Join Lynn Brown now through March for one of her amazing workshops, each focusing on a key part of living your best life. For more information and to register for one of these amazing workshops, visit lynnbrownevent.com. That's lynnbrownevent.com. And get into it this 2016 with Lynn Brown.
We Carry the Light with host Dr. Susan Allison is the show that inspires you to find the light within and shine your light in the world. You'll hear from guests who model how to be the highest, brightest, most evolved, fulfilled, and conscious humans possible. Tune in each Thursday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com and let Dr. Susan help you discover that you carry the unique light that only you can shine.
Living Kabbalah, experience the fruits of the Tree of Life. In this 10-month Ascension program, Kabbalah unlocks the potential of your own divine nature to know and accomplish your unique purpose in life. Get ready for real and lasting change.
Enroll now for this 10-month Ascension program starting January 30th through 31st. Visit 10thhouse.org That's 10thhouse.org today to learn more. Let the transition begin. Tune in to the hit show, Majestic Insights Radio, Success for Life's Transitions, with host Carrie Keith. Carrie is a gifted intuitive coach, healer, and teacher who will lead you through her empowering techniques of ancient wisdom and awareness so you can live your happiest, healthiest, and most vibrant life. Let Carrie teach you the tools of transformation that will help you experience success for all of life's transitions. To learn more about Carrie, visit www.majesticinsights.com.
Don't let me hear you say life's taking you nowhere. Angel, look at that sky, life's begun. Nights are warm and the days are young.
Hey everybody, welcome back. And Francine Vale joining me here today. And we're talking about, the power of angel healing and unconditional love. And, she and I and Benny were talking during the break. And, if you're wondering why are we playing David Bowie, I think the world was shocked yesterday, to hear of his transition, his passing. As many of us who have grown up in this era of time, we're so struck by the influences from somebody like a David Bowie, how he pushed the edges. And I want to tell you, right, Francine, we are talking about accelerated expansiveness is our theme. We're talking about how important it is to make sure we're not compromising in the energy of what we have, and that we are able, to look at our lives and step out in the world in service, as well as, people that are here on this planet to help other people. Now, you work with people all over the world. I would love for you to talk a bit about angel healing and what you've discovered, especially in this short period of time that you have been connecting with our listeners.
Yes. So I would like to use my own experience as a perfect example. Because we are somehow trained and we grow up believing that, we aren't great, we're just a little grain of sand, and there's, we're not very meaningful. We hold ourselves back. But once we become open to the idea that we can be bigger than we think we are, and we allow ourselves to be courageous, which is what I did with my healing work by stepping out into the public arena with something where I feel I'm pushing the envelope, because it's not part of our mass understanding yet. Or if it is, it does not get talked about in the mass media. And so by being courageous and stepping out and talking about angels and light beings, which in certain circles can still get some snickers and, that funny look that you can get. Yeah. The angels and light beings start to bring greater power through me.
Yeah.
Because I'm taking those steps. So I had a new experience with a client who got in touch with me from the show a couple of weeks ago. And by stepping up and trying to help someone who is in dire circumstances and who who doctors felt they had done all they could for her, and most healers would shy away from, I stepped up and told her that I would do my best to help her. And I didn't know how I was going to help her, because when it comes to systemic diseases, like diabetes and lupus and things like that, I have always worked in a different way by finding the first cause and helping people to go back to that first cause and clear out the energies and different ways of healing it and making them more comfortable. But what happened with this wonderful woman, when I started visualizing her, what I saw amazed me and taught me that when you have someone, God forbid, has a systemic disease for a long period of time, what happens is that disease takes on a life of its own in your body. And it actually creates a disease body inside your body. And this is really quite tragic and terrible because you can't get away from it. It's inside you, and it fills your body with it like a shadow of yourself. Now, it's not you. It's not you. But it is a disease that has created itself inside you because it was not healed in the beginning and was not known how to heal it. And sometimes we don't feel well and we don't do anything about it, and it takes its hold in our organs and cells. And so I saw this disease body, and I called on our healing angels, hers, who were standing by and waiting, and mine, to step in to do these things. And we lifted this disease body away from her physical body so that it was free-floating in her instead of being attached. And then we began to move it out. So some of it got out, and some of it didn't. So over the course of a few days, before she knew that she could get in touch with me again and ask me for more help, she was in a lot of pain in her legs because it was stuck. But I reached out to her and said, what's happening? And then I learned that she was in pain. So we called on her angel, and I saw her angel with its very large wings. You know how shamans can use feather? Well, this is the huge, beautiful white wing of her angel, swept over her and swept the rest of this diseased body out to the soles of her feet. And the next thing that happened was it lifted any remnants of that diseased body that may have been stuck, little cells here and there, out. And the woman then began to experience a cleanse, a natural cleanse. And she immediately began, even though it was still stuck before it got out completely, feeling lighter and better. And I don't know if she's listening. I will not say her name, but if she is, she knows that what I'm saying is everything she told me. Not everything, but part of what she told me. And she's feeling lighter, healthier, happier, with more optimistic outlook. And I learned a lot from her, and I sent her many, many infinite blessings for helping to learn this, because we can use this technique to help other people with systemic diseases. So if you have, God forbid, systemic disease, know that by using this technique, I don't even like the word technique, by using this angelic presence, we can now, and with this vision that I have of seeing the disease body, we can remove it from your body.
Wow.
And make you feel much more comfortable in your life. Now, I can't say that it's totally healed. I'm waiting to see how she fares when she goes back to the doctor and has another MRI, and prayerfully it will be gone. But she is definitely feeling so much better. But this to me is quite a breakthrough, quite a miraculous thing. And you see, because over Christmas there was one day, and I wrote about this on Facebook. Anybody who's listening, dear friends, you're listening, go to my Facebook page and you'll see my post about the frequency. And many people have felt it also in the blink of an eye. Some of you may have been reading about this, that you can have your frequency raised in the blink of an eye. And that's what happened to me. And I knew it. And I woke up and I was different. And I saw everything from a different perspective, a higher perspective. And that enabled me to see this disease body in this woman. And I see diseases from the beginning. I see the tumors. I see the ligaments that are torn. I see all of that inside the body, broken bones. But I never saw before such a thing as a disease body from a systemic disease. So once your frequency is raised, you become a higher version of yourself, better at what you do, better able to fulfill your destiny, and maybe even go further. Quite amazing.
Well, phone lines are open. 1-800-930-2819. Phone lines are open. 1-800-930-2819. And we're going to take you on right away. So if you call in, we're going to zip you right in and connect you with Francine. Francine, that was incredible. What is your Facebook page that people can go and take a look at? Because I think that, for many of us, plugging in and just get verification that things that are going on in our lives can happen for us too. They're not just for the few people. This is something that you share with folks. What's the best way for people to find you on Facebook?
Just go to Francine Vale Healer, and you will recognize my picture. I use the same picture as I do on the website and on the radio show. So there I am, and Song of the Heart, the book, is the background, blue cover, and you'll recognize me. And there is the post. It's interesting how things happen. I was doing a private chat with a dear friend who lives in Tasmania, and that's the way we communicate, shaman friend. And this started to flow through me when I was chatting with him, and I gave it to him. And then the next day I was with a client, and she was asking me this question, and I told her about the essence of what I had written. And she said, you need to post that on Facebook. Oh. Everybody wants to hear that. And I said, oh, all right, I never thought of doing that. It was a private message, but him being a shaman, he understands this. And so I did. I posted it, and what a response. So everybody does want to hear this. And I'm very happy to share it. Sometimes things that we talk about need to be spoken to more people, not just the person that we're talking to.
Let's do this, because this is really exciting. And I know this hour goes by so quickly. You've been working with our listeners now, and we're just warming up here for this year. You've put together something special for people so that they can call you directly and they can schedule time, to receive a healing. Tell folks about what you've done, because what you are offering to our listeners and your pay it forward love in doing this is breathtaking for me. Tell people what you've put together for them, Francine. My goodness. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Pat. What I put together is I have a dedicated email address, francineangelhealer@gmail.com, where you can send an email to me. And, if I give you all the instructions, it's a lot. Just tell me as much as you can about what your situation is so I can get a good picture of it. Make believe you're talking to your doctor and you're taking an intake so I know what the situation is you're dealing with. And then go to PayPal, and I have a PayPal account, francineangelhealer@gmail.com, same. And deposit $35. That's the cost. It's just a nominal amount, just so anybody that's listening has access to the healing. Normally, when I was doing email healings before the show, it's $125, because it takes about an hour or more, usually more than an hour, for me to do this properly, and I can only do it properly. I cannot rush it. I cannot be too brief. I have to be totally complete with your angels and mine, and you'll always, always get a message, usually at the end, from your angel. And so that's my offering, dear friends, and I'm very happy to do it. It is time-consuming for me, and, there's only 24 hours in a day, and I tend to stay up very late and wake up early. But that's what I'm here for, and I do as much as I can in a day, and will respond to you as quickly as I can. So, and with that offer, I send you a lot of love and blessings. And we're all suffering in our own way here on this planet. And some people suffering takes a different image than others. But everyone has their own suffering, even people that you think are on top of the world.
Well, let's talk about this in terms of how we accelerate our life, because, this is really kind of an interesting idea today in looking at this. And looking at angels for different purposes as well. And let's talk about this for a minute and how we can share some tools and techniques for our listeners that are out there. whether we move this way or that. But before we do that, I think we're going to have somebody very specific that you can work with right now and demonstrate. Mr. Benny, who do we have?
Yeah, we'll take Diane calling in from Fargo, North Dakota. So far, Diane, welcome to the show.
Diane, how are you?
I'm doing okay, thank you. A little cold, but okay.
Yeah, no kidding. I was just going to say, let me introduce you to my friend Francine. Go ahead, ladies.
Hello, Diane. How are you? What's happening with you?
There's a couple of things. I have been dealing with fibromyalgia for the past 10 years, and my fingers have started to go numb.
Okay.
Can you still hear me?
Yes, gotcha.
Yes, I hear you. I'm listening.
Okay, my fingers have started to kind of go numb. And a year ago in November, I lost my husband of 15 and a half years. And on my birthday, December 31st, I lost both of our wedding rings. I was out and about. They fell off. So, there's the fibromyalgia and the numb fingers and the grief.
Wow.
You lost both the wedding rings? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I had them on a necklace, and it came apart, and I was running errands in the snow, and they disappeared.
And how close was that to the anniversary of your husband's passing?
He passed in November 6th last year, but it was also on my birthday.
Wow.
Well,
that's powerful.
And then you lost the ring on November 31st?
Yeah, on my birthday.
A year later. Well, I would say there is a significance to that. It's within the same month. And let's talk about your fibromyalgia first, okay? Because to me, that's the most prominent thing. Did you notice any change after your husband passed with your fibromyalgia, as far as it getting worse, or did anything happen, such as your fingers getting numb? Is that what happened afterwards?
I've learned how to deal with the fibromyalgia, but the numb fingers, the numbness in the tip of two fingers, and it's kind of working its way up, is new in the past month.
Okay. And how long do you have the fibromyalgia?
10 years.
And how long were you married?
I was married 15 and a half years. We were together for 17.
Okay. All right. Let's address your illness first and see what we can to heal you. Okay. That's the most important thing. Understanding the rest of it can come later, but first let's address it. So I'm calling on your angels. And I'm seeing your angels around you. I'm seeing a few, three white, pure white angelic beings, really beautiful angelic beings around you. Usually they are exactly the way they usually show up, one behind your head and one on either side. And calling on my angels. And yes, with fibromyalgia, now that I know about this, I can easily see that the disease does create its own disease body inside you. And do you work with your hands a lot?
Yeah, somewhat. Just doing things around the house and normal things.
Right. Well, let's lift that diseased body up. Are you relaxing? Are you sitting with your feet up and relaxed?
No, I was standing by the window because my phone was kind of,
Okay.
I wasn't sure I had good connection.
Okay. All right, so then let's do it while you're standing by the window and you're looking outside at nature.
Mm-hmm. At the snow falling.
Wonderful. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay. So keep looking at the snowflakes. That's a beautiful meditative state. And while you're looking at the snowflakes, we're going to bring down golden healing light from the highest reaches of heaven and allow golden light like a beam of light to come down through your crown chakra and fill your body with the essence of divine love. And everybody who's listening, dear listeners, whatever your problem is, allow this light to come down through your crown chakra as well. And everyone can take part in this healing, each in your own, to answer your own needs. Entirely possible. And allow this golden light to fill your entire body. And in your case, Diane, the golden light has a very specific purpose right now. It's going to separate your diseased body from your physical body. And over the years, it has attached itself to, very gently lift itself away from its entanglement in your veins and in your organs and all the parts of your body. And now we're going to ask the angels with their beautiful snowy white wings to sweep this diseased body from you, from your head down to your toes, just to sweep it out and ground it down into Mother Earth. Mother Earth, as they say, as the shamans say, Pachamama, who receives the disease and transmute it, will become purified. And let that diseased body continue to move out of you now that it is lifted away. Move down, 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 down through your spinal column and down through your hips and down through your legs and out, down into Mother Earth to receive it with blessings. And with unconditional love, Mother Earth, open to receive that which no longer serves you. And you feel the golden light down into your arms as well, down into your hands, releasing the diseased body from your arms and hands, and letting that be swept down also into Mother Earth. He receives all our sorrows and woes and transmutes it to help grow new life. And you might feel a little lighter, and as the day progresses, you will feel lighter and lighter. Now I invite you, Diane, to please send me an email, francineangelhealer@gmail.com. Let me know how you're feeling. I want to stay with you on this because after 10 years or so, it might take a couple of days for this diseased body to completely leave you, to be completely lifted up and to leave you. But we have started the process. It is miraculous. It is pure, unconditional love that allows this to happen. It is your desire to be healthy and well. And it helps a lot, by the way, dear friends. When we ask for healing, it is a very good practice to make a declaration of that which you would like to do to serve others when you are strong again and well again. Perhaps serve others who suffer for what you once suffered from after you are healed. Anything. Any skill that you have to bring to the planet, to bring to humanity. That is a promise and a pledge that shows you are not only taking, but you are reciprocating as well in kind. This is very important in our time. Very important. Think of all the beautiful things you would do to help others when you have better health. Whether it's planting flowers and trees, gardens, and giving the fruits of your labor as gifts, whatever it is, going directly to help others in person, whatever it is, think of what you would do. That has gotten me personally, once I learned to do that, to many, many crises. You do it with all your heart and allow the tears to flow and make that declaration of reciprocity. In ancient times, we have lost a lot of this. In ancient times, people knew about reciprocity and wouldn't take anything without giving back. We have lost that to some degree in our current life, in our modern times. Not everyone. Some people still do.
Wow, my gosh. Thank you so much, Francine Vale, everyone.
The preceding audio was via a Skype call.